and the signs are there.
Do you think that what happened to you, did you ever question your sexuality?
You know what? I thought about that when I got much older, and I said I didn't really question my sexuality, but I wondered if that could ever happen, if I would ever question my sexuality, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Because of that. You know, when you look at another woman and you say, oh, her legs look good. Well, how do you get your butt to look like that?
Right.
What kind of crunches are you doing? So in my back of my mind, I would say, I wonder if I'm attracted to women, or if it's just that I'm admiring her body. And then I came to the realization, no, I'm just admiring her body, and that's okay. But because what happened to me, and I was molested by a young girl, it did make me ponder that question.
Right.
And I think this is the first time anyone that knows me is on. I probably never said that to them, but this is the first time they're hearing that.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's real, but because if you look at most of the people that are now dating the same sex, the same thing happened to them. Yes, if you look at it.
I know it for, I know that to be a fact, because when I have conversations, that is what I hear. Mm-hmm. That's one of the first things I hear.
Yeah, that is usually what you hear when a person, or especially a young guy, and he's gay now, the first thing he'll say is he was molested as a child.
Yep.
And it just really rattles your brain as to who can take someone's innocence, you know, and just do that to a child that really does not know who he or she is at that time. You know, some people say you're born like that or whatever. But I do really believe that it's pure innocence that's been taken away from this child. and that's what you hear a lot of times. But, you know, I admire women all the time. You're beautiful, you're this. I look at girls' butt and be like, damn, you know, but I know I'm not turned on by women, but I don't think it's anything wrong with it. I think I'll tell women all the time they're beautiful. Women tell me I'm beautiful. I've had, you know, women come on to me. That's not my thing. I don't get upset because it doesn't offend me. But sometimes you be like, well, I know I ain't gay, but she got a big ass. You know what I mean?
Oh, no, it's true. It's true.
I crack myself up. I can't really laugh because I'm sore, but I crack myself up. You know, but in all, you know, seriousness, we have to pay attention to our children now more so than, well, even back then, honey. It's just back then nobody said anything.
Exactly, because it was happening then, but you didn't have social media, you didn't have cell phones, you had 4 stations on the television, so you didn't see it happening. You know, you couldn't just open up your phone and see all these things going on, and you couldn't post, you know, you weren't able to post yourself all over the place, and you just weren't as aware. Now we see things as they happen, so we are more aware of what is going on in the world we're living in.
Right, and it takes women like us to speak on it. And if there's anybody listening and you know that your child has been abused, because this is one thing that I found out too, that if it's a family member, a lot of times they won't say anything because out of embarrassment for the family. Have you noticed that? You find so many people that will cover up for their family members and just sweep it under the rug, or I'm just going to keep them away. And then you can find some family members that are just like, well, just because it did to her don't mean he'll do it to you. You guys have to stand up and protect your children and just cut it out, because that's not right. You know, so if it's anybody that's listening and you know that your child or someone next to you or close to you, any child is being molested or sexually assaulted, you have to speak up and do the right thing.
You do. You don't have a choice, because if they did it to you, they're going to do it to someone else. And like we said earlier, it is a pattern. It is a pattern until someone says, no more. We're going to let the whole world know what is going on with this person. That's it. It's not going to happen anymore. This is where it stops.
That's it. This is where it stops, and they deserve to be prosecuted. They don't deserve to have the chance to go out and do it to somebody else's child or take someone else's innocence from them. Like, it needs to stop.
Yeah, I agree. And you can't say it's not your business. It is our business. It is our business.
Yeah, I wanted to throw that out there. So, where are we now, Miss Lisa?
Where are we now? I am in a good place, and I told you this, and I told a few other people. For about a year, I have been pondering back and forth to cut my hair. And 2 weeks ago, I went to the barber, and I had him shave off my hair. I have a Caesar. And I've never felt so beautiful, so strong, so confident, so amazing. It was like, God was like, I need you to cut your hair. I need you to start new. I need you to start fresh. I need to do a new thing in you. And this is what I need you to do. You know, it says God may ask you to do something. It might not make any sense to you, but it makes sense to him because he knows the plans he has for you. Mm-hmm. But I need you just to be obedient and do what I tell you to do. Because right after I cut my hair, this podcast came to light for me. Mm-hmm. And other things just started happening. I just felt so different and so strong. And I felt like if whoever doesn't want to be with me, that's on them. I want to be with me. Mm-hmm. Even my husband now. If something were to happen and he decides, you know what? I'm leaving. I'm going to be okay with that because I'm finally okay with me.
And if you don't mind me asking, how old are you?
I'm 53, girl. My students swear I'm 30 years old, and so they all get age.
It took you 53 years to get that, and don't quote me, to get that stank up off you. Not your hair, I mean emotionally, to get it up off you.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a lot. It speaks volumes. When I first talk to you, because I always call, anybody that's gonna be on my show, I call them. I need to know them. I get a relationship with them, and I talked to you, and you said, you know what, Shar, this is the first time that I really, really feel beautiful. I cut my hair, and I'm like, out of all this time, and your story was just so amazing that it took you to be free. To cut all that up off you.
That's what I felt. I felt free. I felt like this weight was just lifted off of me. And it's been a process because I could feel the change. And when I got up that Sunday morning, because I didn't go to church that Sunday, God wanted me to do something else with me that Sunday. He didn't want me in the building. He wanted me in the barbershop. Because he had something that he was doing in me, and that's where I needed to be. And when I got out of the barbershop, I was emotional, and I teared up, but it was a tears of joy. And when I turned on my radio, the song Changed was on. And I was like, all right, God, I hear you.
I hear you. Everybody, welcome Alicia to the show. You kind of chimed them at the last minute, but that's okay. You can always go back and listen to the show after the show. But we do want to welcome you to the show. I love your hair. I think it's beautiful. You're not the first person that I have heard say, my hair has been holding me back. I cut my hair and I feel so free.
I do. I feel amazing.
What is it about the hair?
I feel, you know what? And I was teasing my friends. I walked in, I was like, Wakanda forever. And I was like, I get it. I get why they felt so strong with no hair on their head. You just feel like a warrior, lioness, princess, if that makes sense. Like, you just feel like a queen. You feel regal. And when I walk, I feel like I walk differently. I just feel like, I got this, y'all, for real this time. Not only thinking it nasty on the outside, but on the inside.
That's amazing. Well, I'm so glad you decided to join the show to tell your story. And I hope that you keep on giving back to the women that may be in this situation, or young adults or children, you have to keep giving back, and you have to keep spreading the knowledge. To everybody that's in the chat room, I just want to thank you all so much for joining in, giving your opinions, giving your thoughts. Each and every one of us have been through some times in our lives that we look back on like, I'm so glad that God spared me and I'm here now. And what we need to do is continue to do the work of God and help each other. And that's people we don't know. It's spreading the word. We just have to continue that. And that's what's going to put a cap on this domestic violence. That's what's going to put a cap on this child abuse. That's what's going to put a cap on a lot of things that we are facing as women. And just know that domestic violence is not all physical. It is very well mental. So any last closing remarks? And you also have a Mary Kay line that you are doing as well. Is that right?
Yes, I do. Is it possible for me to put the link into the comments?
Yeah, of course. Please do. You guys, she's going to put the link in the comments. And I did not do a wine tonight because, if you all know, I am recovering. But I had to get on and do this show. So actually, y'all won't know what I'm really drinking. I'm drinking Ensure. It's not funny, but that's what I'm drinking. So if you guys are sipping on the wine, because you know we do a wine of the hour, please put it in the link. And then I'll go and look it up and buy it and tell you guys what I think of it. So I just want to
you gotta do what you gotta do.
You gotta
get better shit, because you gotta get better.
I got about 5 more weeks road to recovery, but it's okay. God is good. I'm feeling better today than I have all week. So we are reaching for the skies. I want to encourage you all to keep listening to the show, liking the show, sharing the show. I do have one more guest next week as my last domestic violence of the month. And I have not fully confirmed, but I'm waiting to confirm that. And hopefully she will be on the show as well. And we are talking about children of abusive relationships. So hopefully, we can get that confirmed. And you guys stay tuned for next week's show. Miss Lisa, any closing remarks?
I just want to thank everyone for coming in and sharing tonight. I know this is a very sensitive subject, and this is a safe place to share and just tell your story. And none of us is in this by ourselves. Remember, there's always someone there for you to talk to. Just do it afraid. Tell someone even if you're afraid, so they can help you. We all are in this together. That's all I want, for everyone to know. If you need to reach out, reach out. There's help. We are here for you.
We are, and you can always go to your local shelter. If it gets bad enough, don't wait for the next person. You go to the local shelter.
Exactly. Definitely. Don't wait. Your life is worth more. Your life is worth more. Know your worth. Know your value.
All right, y'all. So that is our time. I do want to thank you all for tuning in. And One Life, One Love. It's your girl, Shar. Make sure you Google the domestic violence hotline. And I normally give it out. Please forgive me for being unprepared tonight. But it's just a Google away. All right. Thank you, Miss Lisa. Thank you all for tuning in. That's my time, y'all. It's your girl, Shar, with the Evening Wind Down.